What's going on? Another video presented to you by Headlines Barbershop. On this one, we're going to go ahead and do the South of France, or the Usher cut, whichever one you want to call it. And these are just some before and after pictures. So we're going to go ahead and start off by balding out a round circular shape right above the ear, right behind the ear. And this is the foundation of the cut, so you want to make sure you get that right. Now we're going to go right into the Andes Masters. The blade is all the way open, and we're going to follow the same guideline that we did prior to this one. You want to make sure that all of your guidelines have like that rainbow look, so to speak. Let's get right into the number one guard all the way open. And again, we're going a ½ inch to an inch up, and we're going to follow the same rainbow guideline. Keep all these guidelines in proportion to one another, right? This is helping you create that South of France look. Now let's go right into the number two guard all the way open. And as you get near the ridge of the head, you want to scoop up. You don't want to dig into the cut, because you'll just be giving yourself more work. Alright, so now we're putting on the number three guard, and right when we get to the ridge, he wants to keep the length on the top. He doesn't want to take any off the top. So we're just going to scoop up with this number three, and it should blend right into the length that he has it at now. So you're just scooping up. You're not putting any, you're not digging in, you're not putting any pressure. You're just cutting and scooping up. So now we're gonna go ahead and start taking out these guidelines, and obviously we're gonna have the Andes all the way closed. Now that closed position should go up about a ½ inch, and as you're going up, the closer you get to the next guideline, you're opening that blade. You're moving, you're opening that lever as you go up, and that's what's going to create that transition to the next guideline. If you have trouble with this part, a great way to do it is every ½ inch that you go up towards the next guideline, you open it up, open the lever a couple of notches. Since we already had the blade all the way open, we're gonna go ahead and start knocking down the beard on this side, just to save a little bit of time, so we're not going back and forth. Alright, so now we got the number 0 guard, and from the closed position we're going to open it up one notch and start removing that next guideline, going up about a ½ inch. And as we go up closer to the next guideline, we're going to be opening that lever, opening that blade. And sometimes you'll see me close the lever a little bit. It's just because I'm using the the trial and error method. If I don't hear any hair getting cut, I'm gonna close that lever a little bit, so I can knock out any of those dark spots, those indent spots. You want to cut against the grain throughout the whole process. Alright, so now we're going to go back and detail our work. We're going to start off with no guard, but the blade is all the way open, and using the trial and error method, cut into those spots where you see a little bit of bulk or some demarcations, and close and open it as you go, as you hear that sound. Cool, so let's take out that next guideline. Let's remove that bulk with the number 2 closed. Alright, so one thing you notice after running that number 2 guard, there's still bulk left. So we're going to go back to the 1.5, get a little bit closer, and see if we can knock out that bulk. and as you can see, it's starting to erase it. May need to close it, the number 1 guard, just a little bit and really get that bulk out, that darkness, I should say. Give it more transition, more of a blend, and that's where I close a little bit, and so you can see the difference. Now let's go to number 0 guard. We're using the blending down technique, blending down from the top down and connecting that blend a little bit better. So here what I'm explaining is he likes his beard closer than that. He likes it to be like a 5 o'clock shadow. Now I'm gonna start with the Andes closed in the middle, and I'm gonna blend it up and down. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to keep the darkness around the beard line, so that when you line it up, it really pops. But you still want, you still want it to be a 5 o'clock shadow. So you're gonna bald it out in the middle of the beard and blend it up towards the beard line, and blend it down towards the beard line using the same technique, starting from the 0, opening it the closer that you get to the beard line. Now around the mouth area, the mustache, the chin area, it tends to be a little thicker and a little darker in that area. So right here I'm actually using the masters all the way closed. Now I'm being careful, because if you hit the nose or the lip with that Andes masters closed, you could nick them. Alright, so this is where I'm going to begin my lineup, right here in this corner. And this is the beginning, this is the start, right? This is what I consider my start. Then I'm going to go to the last part of where I want to finish my lineup. I'm going to create that line. These are my guidelines, right? Right next to the lip line. So I created my start to my finish. I have my guideline, and now I'm just going to connect the dots. I'm just going to fill in the middle, right? It makes things a lot easier when you're lining an individual up. Another thing that makes things easier is bracing yourself. You see my index finger is pressing against his cheekbone or his face. That's to create stability for when I'm lining somebody up. It's hard to do it if you're not leaning against anything, that brace. Now the edges, the way I set my edges, man, I set my edges so I can use them all around. I can use them at the back of the neck, I can use them on kids, I can use them on the face without, irritating the skin. And the reason why I do that is because I use the razor. So it's important for me to be able to use those edges on everybody, and then clean it up with the razor, because there's no trimmers that can get closer than a razor can. And you'll see the difference that it makes. Always once you line it up in the back of the neck, man, turn that clipper around and use that to trim the hairs. Don't scrape at their necks, it's very sensitive. Here I'm applying Mentos Ultra Shave Gel, using the back of the comb to spread it onto the skin. And we're going to use the razor, pulling the skin and going against the grain to get that close shave. Now you're going to see where the magic happens. This is why I tell you, you don't need to zero gap your blade. Alright, so using the corner of the blade and stretching the skin, I'm just going to detail the line that I've already created. Now as you see, I'm wiping off the excess shave gel. I'm any maybe dry skin or something, because I want to make sure that the line that I'm creating is real. It's not, it's not a product of the shave gel that's being pushed towards it. And last thing I want is my clients to go home, wash their face, and their beard looks totally different than it did when they were in the barbershop. So clean that up, wipe that excess stuff off, man, and make sure that line is legitimate, man. And you want to make sure you're going against the grain as much as possible when you're shaving it, just because it gives, that's what really creates that close shave. No trimmer, nothing out there can get closer than a razor against the grain. So this is another technique that I use. This is the number 1 guard with the grain, and I'm lightly pressing at the edge of his hairline to knock down any stray hairs, any long hairs that my clipper won't catch. And doing this, because his hair is so long on the top, it's gonna help you create that sharp, crisp hairline that people. The highest point of his hairline, so that would be the middle, right? The middle was the highest point. I'm gonna leave that as natural as possible, and that's gonna be my guideline, because I don't want to push his hairline further back than it naturally grows. So we'll connect everything else to that highest point. And as you can see, I'm bracing myself again. I'm using my index finger. I'm putting it on his forehead, and then I'm lining him up to create that stability. That's important, guys. And you can comb the hair down throughout the lineup and make sure you're catching any long hairs, any stray hairs. Now I'm taking the razor and I'm lining him up. This area you don't really have to apply shave gel. It's a pretty smooth shave. But I'm going against the grain and cleaning it up. Alright, so right here, right below his lip, he doesn't want me to push it down on the line. He wants to keep it natural, and naturally it's kind of curved. But I'm gonna clean up below the lip and stuff with the trimmer, and then I'll do all the detail work with the razor. I'm gonna do the same thing with the mustache, right around the lip line, line it up. Don't push that up too high, just clean it up. Most people don't like that to look too cosmetic and pushed up. And remember, this was the master's all the way closed. This was a 0, but because it's so much thicker around the lip, you can still line up that 0. A quick tip, man. Something I learned from one of my clients. He went and he cheated on me with another barber, and he said, "Yo, listen, one thing I appreciate that you do differently is right below my nose where my mustache is. You don't put the body of the clipper against my nose. It creates a whole bunch of vibration. It's so uncomfortable." So ever since then, man, I really paid attention to that. So now we're gonna apply the razor. In this area, you want to put a good amount of shave gel. You want to be generous with the shave gel, because this is probably the hardest, the thickest part to shave. But if you put a good amount of shave gel and you have them stretch their skin like I'm having my client do right here, it's a smooth shave. It's all in the prep work when it comes to shaving this area. Do it right and you'll make it very comfortable for your clients, and they'll come back and appreciate it, because most barbers don't do this. I've seen it, man. And again, I'm wiping off excess shave gel, because I want to make sure that the lineup that I'm creating is real. Stretching the skin, cleaning it up real nice. Alright, and now I'm going to do this part where I told you I'm going to do most of the detail with the razor. As you can see, I'm pushing up on the bottom lip to stretch that skin, and then I'm using the corner of the blade to create that line. This is also a tough area to shave, but with the right prep, you can make it a nice smooth shave. Alright, so this is a real important part. I use the Wall 5-star shaver, and this saves me time, but it also allows me to get in those hard areas where the razor will tend to nick someone. It also allows me to get a closer shave towards the neck area where people normally break out. And I'll just pass this throughout the face just to clean up whatever my razor didn't catch, man. But this is a dope tool right here, the Wall 5-Star Shaver Shaper. And I'll even use this on the back of the neckline, because people with curly hair, they tend to bump up in the back of the neck. So instead of applying the razor to the back of the neck, I'm going to use a shaver real quick and clean that up. That's another good tip. And that's it. That's the finished product. Always use some alcohol, some aftershave cologne, and be sanitary, man, and clean up their face. Customers know the deal. They know if you don't use this, you're not a real barber.